Hello and welcome. Today I am flying all the way to the Chinese-Russian border to see the biggest Matryoshka in the world. And to do so, I am flying on an airline that flies exclusively aircrafts manufactured in China. So let's go to Inner Mongolia. A very good morning here from my hotel room in Beijing. Today hopefully we're going to reach our goal of seeing the biggest Matryoshka in the world, and while doing so we're also going to complete the challenge of flying the 3 main aircraft manufactured in China. So today we're going to fly on the Comac 909, and to do so we have to fly to a city called Ulanhot first with Air China on a Boeing 737, and then we're going to fly on an airline that only flies Chinese-made aircraft all the way up north to the city of Manzhouli. So yeah, let's get going, almost to Siberia. So, on my way to Beijing airport, and my first flight today is with Air China Inner Mongolia, which is part of Air China, it's a division of Air China, and they operate 8 Boeings 737-800. All checked in, was pretty easy. Going to the gate now, but first to the lounge because I'm traveling in business class. The lounge didn't provide many food options, and therefore, after a quick look inside, I headed to the gate instead. So this is my first ride of the day, a Boeing 737-800 from Air China Inner Mongolia. Hello. Hi. Yes. Oh. Thank you. Hello. Hi. Hello.
Hello, waiter.
Hello, welcome. Hello. Number 8.
Thank you. Similar to previous flights with Air China, I got a blanket, a pillow, and not to forget, slippers.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
欢迎请乘中国国际航空内蒙古有限公司。
Alright guys, on the way to the highest Matryoshka in the world. First flight of the day on Air China Inner Mongolia to Ulanhot. It's going to take 1 hour and a half. And Ulanhot is actually a quite famous city in the Chinese history because it's the first autonomous region or city that became communist in 1947, so that's before the People's Republic was established. Fortunately, I cannot visit it because I don't have time, would love to visit it. And afterwards we fly on the only airline in the world that flies only manufactured aircraft in China. And yeah, that has a very interesting name because it's a name that suggests a very heroic, strong airline, because that flight is going to be with Genghis Khan Airlines on the Comac 909. But first I'm going to take a nap because it was a really early departure. I was trying to nap, however the cabin crew insisted that I eat something, so I ate some fruits and a cake, which was actually quite nice. I was then planning to take a nap again, but the landscapes were so incredible that I couldn't sleep anymore, so I spent the whole flight watching out of the window at these incredibly beautiful landscapes. And soon enough, we're about to land in Ulanhot. Very excited for my next flight on the Comac 909. Upon vacating, I got my first glimpse of a Comac 909. Since I had a rather short connection, I hurried to the luggage belt and quickly made my way to the check-in. Checked in for the next flight, Genghis Khan Airlines to Manzhouli, and yeah, it did take a bit of time because the translation was not going very smoothly, but yeah, it's all fixed. Let's go. Last flight. About half of the airplanes flying to Ulanhot are ARJs-21, and they are very proud of it. I found a small Chinese aviation geek corner, and these aircraft models can actually be bought online using a QR code. Unfortunately, they only deliver to China. In the airport, you can also find various pieces of art and history from Inner Mongolia. So I checked in for my flight, and Chinese people are actually really friendly. So what happened is I went to the check-in, I asked them if I can sit in the back because it's nicer on the Comac 909, otherwise you don't see a lot. And I managed to get my question across with a translation up, but then he wanted to tell me something else and I couldn't understand. He added me on WeChat, and actually he wanted to ask if I need any assistance getting through the terminal and through the immigration, well, security here. So actually he was just offering me help to get through because he knew I didn't speak Chinese. Obviously the signs are still in English, so I don't see why I would need any assistance to get through, but the fact that he offered was quite friendly, and it proves that Chinese people are really nice people. They're really friendly, they try to help you, and yeah, don't be afraid to travel to China. So our next flight is with Genghis Khan Airlines, which I think is a really cool name for an airline. And that will be on the Comac 909, which is actually the previous ARJ-21, I believe. And that will be the last of our 3 Chinese constructed airplanes that we fly on this tour. And we're almost at our other goal as well, and that is to reach the biggest Matryoshka in the world. So yeah, the Comac 909, that's the middle child, I would say. So it's not the newest like the Comac 929, it's not as old as the MA60. There are still Western parts used, and again, I believe Antonov designed the wing, so it is not entirely Chinese made. I do believe they are manufactured here in China, put together, but not all the parts are of course from here. And yeah, that resembles an CRJ 900 engines MD80 or something. It's a mix of different Western airplanes, I would say. So yeah, looking forward to that flight as well, and also looking forward to reach the Russian, Mongolian, Chinese border town I'm flying to today, which is also hopefully a nice place to visit. As I was clearly getting closer to Russia, the airport stores also started selling all kinds of Russian products. Being a bit of a sweet tooth, I decided to give the Russian cookies a try. And as we were anyway eating sweet stuff, I also got myself a Belarusian chocolate. As I told before, there are many Comac 909s at this airport. This was the second one I've seen in just an hour time. Soon enough, my aircraft landed as well from Hohhot. This is a Comac 909. It was delivered in 2020 and it was the first of its kind to be produced in Shanghai Pudong. It's named Ordos, the Holy Land of Genghis Khan.
来，去满洲里的旅客登机了啊！
前往满洲里的旅客，请注意。
There are two variants of the C909 or the ARJ21. For now, only the shorter Dash 700 is being manufactured. However, there are plans for a stretched 900 version as well. Exactly on time, once again we pushed back for a flight to Manzhouli. If you thought these engines look like those from a Canadair jet, well, they actually are. It's the same model as the CRJ, and it's also used on the Embraer 170 till 195.
保管好手机等小件物品，如掉入座椅夹缝中，请立即与乘务员联系。客舱内严禁旅客随身携带超大、超健、超重行李，避免飞机在遇有颠簸等特殊情况下影响飞行安全。在前排座椅口袋内已放置3称行李的安全宣传册，请您阅读。为切实维护航空安全秩序。
The flight time for today's flight is 1 hour, so the in-flight service is quite limited to this bottle of water. I did do a quick visit to the toilet as I was curious how it would look like on this aircraft. This one is in the back and it looks like a toilet from a Boeing aircraft, I would say. I did feel like I was in a lavender field with all of these hanging around. On the descent into Manzhouli, I could spot the frozen Hulun Lake, which is the largest lake in Inner Mongolia. The landscapes are very rough, but absolutely fascinating. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Manzhouli, one of the busiest import and export borders of China. I have arrived in Manzhouli and it's a lot colder here, even in the airport. Oh dear. Here's better. Not so cold anymore. The first thing I had to do was not to pick up my suitcase, but put some extra layers of clothes. I quickly found my driver and guide. It's time to discover one of the coldest places in China. How much? Minus 30 also? Lowest? Or lower?
It's our in the daytime.
In daytime?
Yeah, but at night maybe minus 40. Minus 40. Do you want to sit in front or?
Yeah, I can sit,
to you.
but I need to put my bag then somewhere.
Okay,
maybe.
you can.
Let me see. Maybe it fits. If you think we just arrived at the Natural History Museum, this is actually still the airport. It's time to head to the hotel, and I could see my final goal getting closer. Alright guys, I have reached the city of Manzhouli, just a few kilometers south of the Russian border, just pretty much in Siberia, and it is quite cold here, I can tell you. It's about minus 10 degrees Celsius. And yeah, that can only mean one thing: I have achieved my goal to fly on the 3 major manufactured aircraft in China. The MA60, the Comac 919 and the Comac 909. And it was a joy to fly on them. I really liked it. It was really good fun. But we did not yet accomplish our second quest. Our second challenge to find the biggest Matryoshka, the biggest Russian doll in the world. So yeah, now we still have to find the biggest Russian doll in the world. Mission accomplished. Now, you're probably wondering what is inside of this. Are there more Russian dolls like the real ones, smaller, 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 smaller? No, that is not the case. Inside of this is actually a hotel. And guess where I'm staying? Inside this hotel. Yep, I'm staying inside the Matryoshka hotel here in Manzhouli. And this is definitely the weirdest room I've ever stayed in. So I am going to show you once how my room looks like, how the hotel looks like inside. But that will be for the next video. So if you don't want to miss that, hit that subscribe button. And I'm going to show you in the next video the Matryoshka hotel in Manzhouli, just across the Siberian-Russian border, on the edge of Mongolia, but still in China. Thank you so much for joining me on this tour already around China, and see you on the next video.